Ladies and gentlemen, I am Darkside Phil, and I literally moments ago just completed my playthrough of Kingdom Hearts 3, which actually clocked in a little bit over 31 hours long, but in reality, one day when I was playing it, I had left my PS4 on for a few hours during a break, so I know that actually probably clocked in at just under 30 hours of gameplay. I have a lot to say about this game, but I don't really want to harp on many things too long, so what I'm going to do is try to compartmentalize my opinions on the game and give you full disclosure when I review this game, because I think this is one of the games people have wanted me to review more than any other game recently, and I haven't done reviews for like a year, so I'm actually going out of my comfort zone to kind of do this. At the same time, I feel like I should talk publicly about this game because I'm someone who did not grow up with the Kingdom Hearts games. I did not play them when they were new releases. I actually only played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 when they were in the HD collections for PlayStation 3 last console generation. Admittedly, I wasn't very good at those games. At the same time, though, I enjoyed playing them because I was like, wow, it's an integration of cool Disney worlds and kingdoms into an action-based RPG. And even though I do think that there were things in the games that were flawed, I actually really enjoyed playing the games. However, as I played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, as kind of these kind of retro throwback playthroughs of a game I never played before, people always ask me, are you going to go and play the 100 spin-off games? Are you going to play Birth by Sleep, Chain of Memories, Dream Drop Distance, if that's even one of them? I don't even think it is. There was a mobile game spin-off. Like, there were literally, I think, 5 major, like, spin-off games to play in this Kingdom Hearts series in order to understand the full plot line of Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, when we started hearing that a Dream Drop Distance is one, wow, I actually got it right, even though I never played it. I actually got it right. So when we got all this word that Kingdom Hearts 3 was going to be coming out in 2019, actually it was supposed to come out last year, but then we finally got a final release date for 2019, everyone asked me, am I playing it? And I was like, yeah, I'll play it, sure. I played the first 2 and liked them, even though I didn't necessarily 100% understand it. I liked them. But then people were like, uh-oh, but Phil, you're not going to play all the spin-offs, all the other games in the series? How are you going to understand the plot? To which I said, I don't know. Quite frankly, I don't care. Because I want to play the numbered installments in a franchise, right? And it's okay if there's supplementary materials, but for me to play a numbered entry in a franchise and you're going to tell me I'm not going to understand the plot at all because I didn't play 5 more spin-off games that would cost a ton of money and be a huge time investment, that's ridiculous. And I've been saying that all along, like, that's going to be on Square Enix if Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out and you play it and you can't understand the plot. Because there's going to be people just like me who haven't played 7 other games and are going to want to play this game, will they understand it and have fun with it. That's the perspective I'm coming into Kingdom Hearts 3 with. And by the way, I tried my damnedest watching the cutscenes that were included. There's like 3 to 5 major recap FMVs, full motion videos, at the beginning of the game, the summaries, to try to understand the plot. I did watch them, and quite frankly, they did help me. Like, I learned things about Birth by Sleep and Chain of Memories that I would never have known. Like, why are there 3 characters that look the same? They all look like Sora, but some have blonde hair and Sora has brown hair. Who are these characters? Who are the 3 trainees who were trained by the master Keyblade guy who fights, who's the kind of the antithesis of Xehanort, the big baddie? Who is Xehanort? Why are there 700 Xehanorts in the game? And I would have never understood any of that if I didn't watch the intro cutscene. So I'm glad I did, alright? So if you are going to play this game from a perspective of someone who doesn't know all the lore, I definitely recommend you watch those intro cutscenes. At the same time, they're not going to explain everything, and you're just going to be half the time kind of scratching your chin saying, I don't really know what's happening right now, because the game does not do a very good job of explaining everything from all the other games at all. It just assumes you've played them all, okay? And so, at its core face value, Kingdom Hearts 3 is a game that is fan service to those who have played all the other Kingdom Hearts games. I'm not saying by any means it's not a game that you cannot play if you haven't played them all. It's absolutely 100% accessible and fully playable if you haven't played a Kingdom Hearts game ever before. The problem is you will have no fucking clue what's going on in this game. Your mind will be melting out of your ears. Characters are coming out of left and right. You don't know who they are. They have nothing to do with the characters you're controlling. There's cutscenes upon cutscenes upon cutscenes upon cutscenes, and you'll be like, what the hell is going on, man? So I really feel the reason they made this game was because they wanted to have a culmination game for those who were huge fans of the series, not necessarily to advance the series or even to introduce the series to a new audience, which, by the way, doesn't really make sense when you play the game And the reason I say that is because the game is the easiest game in the Kingdom Hearts franchise, at least the numbered entries. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are way more challenging than this game. They require you to learn things like timed dodges, blocking, and counterattacks. You don't ever need to use those in Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, for full clarification, I played it on the standard difficulty. Standard difficulty is meant to be the default gaming experience that the game developer expects you to pick and play when you play any video game. Yes, this game has a proud mode, which is considered hard mode. From hardcore fans of Kingdom Hearts, I've been told proud mode also is pretty easy. Especially if you're a longtime fan, you've played all the games, it's going to be easy for you anyway. So in general, there seems to be a consensus among people who play this game. It's too easy, all right? But on standard mode, this game is piss fucking easy. Ladies and gentlemen, I've only played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. I only died once through the entire fucking game. I didn't die at all to the final bosses. The whole final ending of the game where there's gauntlets of bosses and the like, I didn't die once. I mean, and I'm not very good at these games at all. It's not like, oh, Phil was a master. He was dodging and parrying, healing perfectly. I wasn't. I was kind of flubbing my way through it. I mean, that's a testament to how fucking easy the game is, all right? So, Kingdom Hearts 3 does follow the formula of the first two games. You're going to be going through this central hub world in a gummy ship, which is a ship that you build, and in this time, it's better than any other time in the Kingdom Hearts series. It's not just a time killer, it's actually an open world area. You're flying around in a spaceship, and you can collect items like money, which is the currency of the game, or you could level up your ship by grabbing experience points for it, and the like. And there's a whole big side content minigame thing just flying the gummy ship through the central hub of the game. But what you're going to do is be flying this around through different Disney worlds. Worlds like Monsters, Inc., or Hercules' Mount Olympus, or Frozen, the world of Frozen, Arendelle, stuff like that. And each world is unique, and each world is different. In some of these worlds, Sora and the party, Donald and Goofy, who reprise their roles as Sora's kind of helpers or teammates as he goes on these adventures, they're going to be transforming. So you go to Monsters, Inc., you turn into monsters. You go to the Toy Story, you look like toys. That's really cool. At the same time, there's a real big amount of worlds. I mean, there's Tangled, Frozen. I mean, I guess you could say Pirates, because Pirates of the Caribbean, technically, you're just a human in a pirate outfit. Big Hero 6, there's multiple worlds where you don't transform into anything. And it's kind of disappointing, because one of the big gimmicks of the original Kingdom Hearts games was you go to a unique Disney world, you transform into a character from that world, and you're almost never doing that in this game. It's like half the time you're actually not. The worlds also are very hit or miss in this game. So I think there's 8. Let me think about this. I'm going to try to go in order here. Hercules, Toy Story, Tangled, Monsters, Inc., Frozen, Pirates of the Caribbean, Big Hero 6. 7 worlds? Did I miss one? Oh, I guess you could technically say the 100-Acre Wood with Winnie the Pooh is also the 8th world, even though it literally lasts 20 minutes. You could beat it super fast. So 8 worlds, and in each world, they're very different. Like, for example, you'll go into the Toy Story world. Wow, the plot line is that the owner of the toys has vanished, and now the toys are wondering what's going on. So they go to the toy store, and you're fighting all kinds of fun toys that are being controlled by the Heartless, which are the longtime villains of this series. You'll be fighting giant robots, big dinosaurs, little toy tops and stuff, dolls, fun stuff. It's a really cool original world. Then you'll go to the Tangled world, and you're in a forest. You're fighting monkeys in a forest, which doesn't even make sense because monkeys don't live in fucking forests. They live in jungles. You're fighting monkeys, and like it's uninspired and boring. And that's kind of the feeling I had as a fan of Disney, and not necessarily a fan of the plotline of Kingdom Hearts, but coming into this as a fan of Disney, having seen all the movies in the game, half the time you're bored to tears, okay? And half the time you're having fun. I would say out of all the worlds, Toy Story, I say Big Hero 6 is the best, because Big Hero 6 actually is like a big virtual city, almost like Spider-Man. You could scale these buildings, you could fly. It's like playing Prototype or Infamous, where you could fly around the city, look for hidden items, fight generic parties of enemies. You're doing fun stuff against bosses and stuff in the city, and that's pretty cool. Toy Story, I already told you, is really cool. I would say Pirates of the Caribbean was much better than the Pirates in Kingdom Hearts 2 this time around. It actually has an open world map where you can sail a ship and do naval battles a la Assassin's Creed, only really watered down easy naval battles. So those are pretty good. But some of these worlds, Tangled, Frozen. Oh my God. Monsters Inc. was the biggest disappointment for me because I really liked that franchise and that movie. All you do is wander around the corridors of a factory. You never do anything else. It's boring. And it's like, man, they really could have done a lot better. Why wasn't every stage unique and interesting like Big Hero 6 was? Instead, you get like 3 worlds that are really good and like 5 worlds or 4 worlds that are boring. And that's not good. You're looking for a balance, and you don't get that balance. The combat of the game, oh, man. Well, you know what? Before we get to the combat, let's talk about world exploration. This is one of the major positives of Kingdom Hearts 3. One of the previous criticisms that I had about the worlds is they could be very repetitive and grindy. This time around, the worlds are open where you can explore. So, for example, you go to Mount Olympus with Hercules. Not only are you going through a destroyed town that's been wrecked by the Heartless, but then you're actually going to go up a mountain and fight the 3 titans from the actual movie, and then you actually go to the top of Mount Olympus where all the gods are. It's really cool. It's open world exploration. You can go through optional areas and paths and find chests and stuff. It's never really been like that before. It's been very linear, and so they actually did make it kind of interesting and better in that regard. I actually felt that the world design was better, but when you're going into boring as hell worlds like Tangled, wow, we're running through a forest for like an hour and a half, and then you finally get to the town, you spend like 20 minutes there, and then it's over. And you're like, wow, that was fun. Frozen, talking about a disappointment, you never even go to Arendelle. In Frozen, you go up the mountain, down the mountain, up the mountain, down the mountain, up the mountain, down the mountain, boss fight, it's over. What the hell? So, even though the world design, in my opinion, is dramatically improved from the other Kingdom Hearts games, the overall experience of most of the worlds is underwhelming, okay? Now let's talk about the combat. The most watered down combat I've ever experienced in any RPG, period. I mean that. And I played Final Fantasy, oh God, what was it called back in the day? They had a mainstream Final Fantasy, not Crystal Chronicles, not Tactics, those are good games. There was a spin-off Final Fantasy game, alright, that was made in the 1990s, that was supposed to be a kiddie game. All right, you had Final Fantasy 2, 3, and 4 that were the mainstream games coming out for the Super NES, Super Famicom. But then you had this one that was yes, Mystic Quest, thank you. This game, Kingdom Hearts 3, is the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest of Kingdom Hearts. It's meant to be for people who don't know how to play the series to easily jump in and win easily. It's watered down to holy hell, all right? All you need to do is mash buttons to win. Very rarely do you need to do anything else but mash the attack button, which is X on the PlayStation. Just keep mashing. It'll do endless combos. All of a sudden, after mashing for a while, a prompt will pop up saying, oh, you have a special thing saved up. It could be a special attack that you saved up. It could be a transformation of your Keyblade. It could be something, just insanely over the top. One of the new things they added to this game are called the attractions. These are supposed to be representations of rides at the actual Disney theme parks. So you've got the merry-go-round that spins. It just has waves of damage hitting the enemies. And you have to do a time button press to destroy all the enemies. You've got the teacups that spin insanely and hit everything on the screen. You've got the splash ride where you're on a raft and it bounces around on a water tread and just hits everything on the screen. One where you get inside of a bumper car with a gun. You shoot the fuck out of everything in front of you like this. And it's insane. Like, not only do the graphics look crazy during these segments, but they're insanely overpowered. They will clear the fucking screen. They will win boss fights for you. They're just so broken, okay? And most people who've actually played this game are actually saying they wish they were in the game because they were so overpowered. But you also have team-up attacks with your team. So, Donald and Goofy will have team-up attacks that you do with them. And then also, like I said, the Keyblade transformation. Get 1 or 2 combos with the Keyblade. Oh, activate. Now your Keyblade transforms into claws or a giant, projectiles flying everywhere. And then if you charge those up, you have a big finisher move that you can do. It's neat the first few times you do it, but once you've gotten to like the second or third world in the game, you very much realize it's not going to get any better. You've seen the extent of what the combat is. It's very much just button mashing and destroying insanely huge hordes of enemies because there's no reason to do anything else. I played on standard difficulty. I'm not even going to exaggerate, guys. I never locked on actively to any enemy. The game auto-targets every enemy near you and everything gets obliterated within seconds, okay? I never blocked an attack and I never parried or countered attack the entire game. I didn't have to. I could just mash the fucking button and beat everything. Now, the only exceptions would be the very end of the game. Some of the final bosses are a little bit challenging where you need to dodge a little bit. Outside of that, I never did anything else. I never even locked onto a fucking enemy and I steamrolled the game. So if that doesn't explain how easy this game is compared to the previous Kingdom Hearts games, I don't know how else to explain it. And the thing that gets me is, why did they do that? Because I could understand if you were saying, oh, we want to make it accessible to more people. Fine, but you didn't make the game accessible. The plot is so convoluted and confusing. You bring in so many supplemental characters from all the other spin-off games from Kingdom Hearts. Even if you just played Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, if you played 3, you have no clue what's going on. So you didn't. You made the gameplay accessible, but you didn't make the game accessible. If they really were going to make a hardcore fan service game for the fans of Kingdom Hearts, this game should have been harder. This game should have had challenging combat, more things that were needed to win, less crutches like the transformations and shit. It should have been harder and more difficult. And I rarely would ask for a harder game, but I can completely understand a longtime fan of Kingdom Hearts playing this and be like, what the fuck happened? Why is it so easy? I don't understand why it's so fucking easy. How can it be accessible to the masses, but then the masses don't get it because the plot makes no sense because they didn't play 7 other games? So the game itself is a walking contradiction. And I'm going to be very honest here. I don't think this game holds a candle to other RPGs that I've played recently, just for that reason. I think that Kingdom Hearts 3 is a game that if you're a longtime fan of the series, this game ties up pretty much all the major plot points. Whether you played Chain of Memories, Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, Death by Chocolate, or whatever fucking Kingdom Hearts game you've played, this game will tie up the plot lines from it. All those characters are in it, and you get all your answers. But is it satisfying to have to go through a super easy game to get that? I don't know. So I don't know if it's going to satisfy the hardcore fans. For casuals, by mashing a button to just win the whole game, is that fun? Not really. And then on top of that, you don't even understand the plot of the game. So it seems to me this game doesn't really successfully satisfy the needs of whether the newcomer casuals or the hardcore fans at all. It seems to be an underwhelming disappointment for most people. Ultimately, the game's not bad. But I would say if you're a hardcore fan of Kingdom Hearts and you were looking for all of the plot points to be tied up, that's all you cared about, this game's like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. But if you were looking for a well-balanced game with challenging combat that advanced the series and pushed it in the right direction gameplay-wise, and also your story resolution, you didn't get that at all, the game's probably like a 7. And then for someone who maybe outside of the franchise wants just a game that's fun to mash with, but doesn't understand anything, the game's probably also like a 7 out of 10. Because you need to understand the plot and you don't playing this game. So ultimately, I would say unless you're the most hardcore fan who's been really waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 so adamantly and you've wanted every moment of the past 13 years you've waited for the game, finally it's here and you get all your plot answers, it's like a 9 or 10 out of 10 because you finally got that culmination of what you were looking for plot-wise. But as a game with gameplay, this game doesn't hold a candle to games like Dragon Quest XI that I just played last year. That game's probably 2 to 3 times as good as this game when it comes to gameplay. It's just this game is pathetic in that regard, and I don't understand what the hell they were thinking. Who were they trying to target this for? It wasn't the casuals because they don't get the plot, and it wasn't the hardcore fans because the game's too easy for them. So you made a game that satisfies no one, and that's why ultimately I think this game's about a 7 out of 10. And that's my honest opinion on it, being someone who is not a maybe if I were a hardcore fan, I was, oh, yes, finally, all the plot lines, finally, and I was going nuts during the climax of this game, I would have given it a 9 or 10 out of 10, but I can't sit here and tell you that this game is worth playing. And quite frankly, it's not. It's not. The one big shining awesome thing about this game were the graphics for me. The graphics ran at a hybrid between 30 to 60 frames per second, and they were really nice. The Disney characters were represented really nice in full 3D. A lot of the times you're playing the game, you're like, this looks like the movie. It looks like I'm actually watching the fucking movie because the detail of the graphics was so good. Outside of that, I didn't have fun with the combat, and the plot was confusing. So for me, it's a 7 out of 10. Maybe for you guys, it's something better. But for me, that's my honest opinion, and that's my review. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it, and see you later.